Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of the DC UK podcast. This is season 7 and it's episode 2 of 2025. As always, I'm your host, James Gray. I'm still waiting for to get another shirt just down here, up here, behind me. But there has been a leak of the away shirt. There's been a couple of leaks. Now, we don't know which one's real, but there has been one recently, and I have to say, the one that was leaked today on February 7th, 2025, looks a lot better than the previous leak, where the previous leak looked like it was a really bland Chicago Fire jersey. And I was just like, nah, not happy about that. Not happy about that. But I will try and bring up the new one today as well. So I will just crack on getting that sorted out. So bear with me. But we've got some great stuff to get on with today. So what have we got going on? We have MLS roster rules for this year, which are a little bit different. We've had Chris Ivy over on Blue Sky breaking it down. So I'm going to go through those. We've had some friendly results as well, as you guys in America love to call them, scrimmages. And, if there's any questions coming up, please feel free to drop them in the chat. But, some news, some transfers out, a couple of rumors about getting some people in, results, some news about Audi Field as well, and some just general stuff. So this is probably not going to be as long as episode as the first one that you've listened to a little while back. But, we're going to crack on. We're going to get into it. You know what? You know what I fancy? Just going through and, watching Christian Benteke's 2024 goals again. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Benteke! The referee says, goal!
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, ain't trying to link no time to waste. For the record, for the record,
He's looking for Benteke, who got it?
for the record, for the record, for the record, for the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes in the ball and eggs. I'm flipping the bars, I'm flipping the on record, off record. I still count wins when they got it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them Chuck the Colin for the quote. On record, off record. I still want the act, not the ghost. Whoa.
Oh, that was a bit of a gap at the end there. I'm going to sort that little clip out. But yeah, DC UK news. It's been a while since you've heard that little theme. We have to bring it back. But yeah, we've got news. It's not officially confirmed yet, but about a transfer that's made its way out of DC United. And that is homegrown Ted Kudipietro. Now, he's been injured. He's had surgery. And he's due to return in March. But he's also been traded, if the reports are correct, to Colorado Rapids for a total of $1.25 million cash. So now, if you remember in the last episode, we talked about the new transfer rules that just came in and how you can have 2 standard transfers without having to rely on GAM to make the trades. For us, this is the first one in. So you can, that's happened to us. So you can have 2 in, 2 out. And that, what that means is we've now opened up a new U22 slot, but we've also got $1.25 million. And that can be transferred into GAM if we need to, but we can also obviously use it. There are add-ons as well, which are up to $275,000 dependent on performance. And we also retain a sell-on percentage as well. So any future sale, we'll get some money from that as well. So in all honesty, it's not that bad. Now, Ted Cruz Pietro, you may have heard me on the show last year how disappointed I was with him, especially when it came to sort of midway through the season. He then signed his new contract and had a little uptick in form when he went from being a homegrown to a U22 player. I still don't think he was all there. I really don't like saying that, but for a player who's supposed to be at a U22 level, he just wasn't really returning the goods that he should have been. So for me, this is actually a really, really good deal from us. Alan Mackay working wonders there, especially with this new transfer rule. And yeah, someone who's injured quite regularly hadn't really put a string of games together. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this deal. It allows us to explore. There's been rumors from Tom Boga about us signing another attacking player to replace him already. We shall see what comes out. Just a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, maybe even 3 weeks ago, Troy Descent was saying that their position was we're not really looking to add any more players in. That can always change, and I think this will make a change. It'd be nice to know whether it actually goes through or not, because I hate sitting on silence, and that's something else I want to talk about in a bit not about DC United, but something else, and a game I know that I love, and I know you guys out there love as well. Yeah, rumors in terms of incomings, talks with trialist midfielders of Brandon Savania, former Toronto player, and Rida Zahia, who's a former Montreal player. So they're both midfielders there. That is it for transfer rumors, but also in terms of other news, I'm going to go slightly off tangent here and not even on my notes, is Football Manager 2025. Now, some people out there will probably go, oh, why are you talking about games? But this game is close to my heart. I've played it for many, many years now, and it's a game that helped me get into MLS and get really into DC United as well. Without that, I probably wouldn't even be thinking about sitting here doing this podcast, because it had such a huge influence on me. Freddie Adu came along and was a wonder kid on there, and it's just like, oh, DC United. I remember them from when they signed Jaime Moreno from my team over here in the UK, and it just built up from there. And you start watching clips online, and you built it up. So for me, it has had a huge effect. Now, Football Manager 25 was supposed to move to a new game engine, which meant graphics would change. The way the game flows would change. It was just going to be complete new, just everything was going to be new. And it was supposed to come out in November last year. Now, they opened up pre-orders, as they do normally. I pre-ordered it, as I normally do. Adding some things in. They were adding women's football into it, which is a great addition for me. I think that's nice to actually see you're going to get everything. But then they were like, we're going to take some things away. International management was one of those. The shouts on the touchdown, which, to be fair, didn't really do a lot. Only one shout tended to work, and that was two for me. Encourage and demand more. Everything else just made things just go weird. And there was a number of other changes as well that they were removing from the game. Then there was the delay to November, and then they went, yeah, we're going to have to delay it to March. We'll have something for you by the end of January. End of January rolls around, just nothing. No posts from mid-December, no replies, literally nada. And you're thinking, what is going on? Why is there nothing happening over at Sports Interactive? Then they released the post, I think it was yesterday, so February 6th, during the early hours of the morning, 2:30 in the morning in UK time anyway, when Sega were going through their financials. and the game was cancelled. So FM25 will now no longer be released. It's a bit of a sad day, really, especially in the gaming world, because that is a full season of. I mean, we're used to having updates and things like that, where the game has a few tweaks and you get obviously all the updated squads and everything. But to go for a full season without a new football manager feels very weird. It's never happened before. Every year since the early 90s of the old championship manager, there's never been a missed season. So it is a really, really weird. And I get why they wouldn't want to release a game in March. I think it was supposed to be coming out, because that just means that there's 6-7 months before the next game comes out. And nobody's going to really want to buy a game for 6-7 months. If something else, if the next one's going to be coming out anyway. So they've cancelled it. They're putting all the resources into FM26. So hopefully we'll have an absolute banger of a game at that point. Now, I must also apologize. I've got a bit of a sore throat. So if I sound a bit different on this particular episode, I'm not 100% fully fit yet. I even had to pull out of playing 7-a-side last night because I was just like, no, I just can't do it. So yes, I apologize if I sound a bit croaky and just a bit full of cold. Yeah, again, another reason why this episode's going to probably be a bit shorter than standard. But cheers. Then, yeah, so we're gonna see something coming out. For all of those who love Football Manager, please give this little video a like and show Sports Interactive a little bit of love, because I think they're in need of it after having to do the cancellation. Club news: DC hired Kevin Flanagan as the new director of academy and player development. Former Nashville SC, so got that link in there with Ali Mackay. Work together. It'd be interesting to see what comes through that. I'm thinking it's going to be a couple of years before we see anything come to fruition. But, I'm not going to argue. I'm really happy with how the club is going. The front office seems to be listening and going in the right direction. So until something goes wrong, I'm going to say good on you for right now. Absolutely good on you. Then former DC man Federico Higuain has gone back to Columbus as to go and coach Crew 2 after leaving Inter Miami II. Then Moses Nyman has returned to the DMV, signing for Loudoun United. His career has gone a bit downhill, unfortunately. It wasn't that long ago. He was named in the Guardian's top 50 wonder kids. And he was a huge, huge prospect. And then he's just suddenly gone off the boil. So it is a little bit disappointing for him. I would love to see him come back and work his way up again. And I would love to see him back in the black and red. I think he was a good little player. But you had, again, one of these players who was injured quite regularly or either getting sent off, especially against FC Cincinnati. I don't know whether you guys remember. But I'm pretty sure he got sent off a couple of times at their ground. So, we'll see. See what happens there. In terms of pre-season for the club, we have had 3 results so far. We've had 1 win and 2 draws, so not too shabby. No defeats yet. We've only got a couple of games left in our pre-season schedule. But the first game was against New York Red Bulls back on January 25th, it was. When you look back on what was said about it, obviously, no stream. Really, really, really annoying. Would love to be able to watch one of these friendlies, but yeah, unless you're into Miami or LAFC or someone like that, then you're never going to get to watch it. But yeah, they've had the Florida training camp. Red Bulls apparently opened the scoring, then we brought it back. We had 2 different lineups for each half as well. Kim Jun Hong, one of our new signings, Dodson, Kojima, Baglau, all making appearances. And then, yeah, Randall Leal, Lucas McNaughton, Jordan Farr, you know, all really good. Stroud scoring the equaliser, from what I remember seeing about it, it was a really good goal as well. So, not bad. Can't argue with that. So that was a 1-1. Obviously, it would have been better if we won the game, but it's no defeat. It's the first match, and it's a friendly. You can't really take too much from that. You're looking at more getting the team chemistry going. You're looking at getting the match fitness and the match sharpness up. So, yeah, really, really, these games are not all about the results. They are just about tactics and getting in the right places at the right time. Then we had the game going to the Charleston Battery, the Coffee Cup, making its return. Troy Lesane was wanting this to come back. A lot of connections here between the two clubs and between the people within the clubs as well. We won this one 2-1. Again, not a huge amount that you can see. A couple of clips that were shown online from DC over on their Instagram. So, yeah, not a huge amount you can really say too much. But again, and it was a win. But again, it is a friendly. So results aren't really all that important right now. Again, tactics and match fitness and match sharpness. Then today, we've taken on the Colorado Rapids. Some notable absentees, and João Paglão wasn't involved. No word as to why he wasn't involved today. But no, that was a question that came up in the DC UK Discord from EJ Evers. But yeah, literally no idea why he wasn't there. Don't know whether it was an issue with an injury or whether it was something else, but yeah, he just wasn't around at all. Then coming up on the 12th, so that is middle of next week, we are playing Nashville, and then February 15th, it is Houston Dynamo, and then not too much longer now, folks. Not too much longer. We are a matter of 2 weeks away from the first game at Audi Field against Toronto. I think it's 2 weeks. I hope it's 2 weeks. Otherwise, I am just telling you a lie. And that would be bad. By the way, if you haven't used Arc browser, go and check that out. It is flipping good. 22nd. So yeah, we're a matter of a fortnight away from the start of the season. Anyway, roster rules. They're finally being released. 2025 has brought some new ones in, and we're just going to go over chrisivy.bsky.social. Go and follow him over there. If you want to follow me, it's just dcunitedkingdom.com. Nice and simple. Managed to use the domain. The domain. Yeah, this gold is going to be fun. Anyway, so cash for player trades, that is the big one. So as mentioned before, and I mentioned on the previous episodes, a club can now use cash rather than GAM to buy 2 players in or sell 2 players. Really weird rules behind it as well. So what's been called as cash for trades, what Chris Ives has said, called RAM. So you've got GAM, TAM, and now you've got RAM, real actual money. Apparently that was from SoccerWise. Includes a 10% payment to the player themselves. The 10% applies to the budget charge, which all but guarantees that a cash for trades player will have to be either a U22 player or a DP. Now, on top of that, you cannot change that status of the player. So if they are signed as a U22 player, they have to remain as a U22 player. If they're signed as a DP player, they can't be bought down using TAM. They have to remain a DP player for the entire term of the contract. Which is interesting, to say the least. And it'll be a real interesting way of seeing how this is going to unfold over the coming months. Especially this year, when it's a brand new rule and seeing who comes out with what. Yeah, from what we've seen and what we've just spoken about, we have sold one of our U22s. A rule apparently that's going to benefit Inter Miami and Seattle Sounders as well. After earning a Club World Cup spot, which Inter Miami dubiously got for not winning anything just because of having Messi, Inter Miami will now receive $750,000 in additional GAM and can pull forward another 1.25 in GAM. That won't be paid back until after Messi's contract expires. So the rule itself, which has been highlighted here, is in support of two MLS clubs participating in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. MLS Board of Governors approved the following allowances. Each club will have an additional $750,000 in 2025 GAM, and each club may pull forward up to 1.25 million GAM, which must be then be paid back over 2 years beginning in 2026. Yeah. Brilliant, right? I can hear in your head. It's like, of course it's going to be benefiting Inter Miami. Then US bit, just drafting fixed, neither player nor club is a proper noun or defined term within the rules. So someone's just gone ahead and changed those. Supplemental roster has now increased from 10 slots to 11. So the maximum roster size is now 31, which has gone up from 30. The new slots will largely, but not exclusively, be filled with homegrown players who will be loaned to sort of MLS Next Pro affiliates while retaining the ability to play in cup matches. MLS also created off-roster homegrown players, working very similar to the slot 31 rule. The difference is that the player must be under 21 and still on their original contract. So players who are teams who focus heavily on their academy, that's going to benefit them a massive amount. Summer window has also been pushed back by a week as well. So that means that is now starting. Where are we? July 18th, which is just bizarre. So yeah, it's more in line with the European transfer window for the summer. Clubs can switch their roster construction. So you might remember at the end of last year, we talked about the new MLS roster construction. So you can have 2 DPs and 4 U22s, or the 3 DPs and the U20 and 3 U22 initiatives. You can switch that up mid-season. So you can go from having a 3 DB model to the 2 DP model if you really wish to gain an extra $1 million in GAM, depending on how you want to read through on that one. MLS have increased the amount of GAM that clubs can also convert from sales from $1.1 million to $3 million. Rules changes have made it easier to reopen DP and U22 slots via loans outside of MLS. So now, as long as the club who the player's been loaned to pays all of the salary, then that slot then gets freed up. Clubs can also buy out 2 players as well. So this is a new change for this year. Came in just after we sold MLS. Well, traded Mateus Click to Atlanta. I think it's like the day after, and we can no longer we can't use that rule based on that, which is really, really freaking annoying. So yes, that's rather frustrating to say the least. But yeah, clubs can use 2 buyouts each season now. And lastly, MLS Super Draft is no longer being televised or streamed. So Adidas has dropped its presenting sponsor status. So it's no longer the MLS Super Draft presented by Adidas. It's just the MLS Super Draft. So yeah, there you go. that is the MLS roster rules for 2025 in terms of new ones. If you want to go and check the rest of them out, they'll be on MLSsoccer.com. If you really want to have something that will send you to sleep. But, that's pretty much everything for this week. I don't have much in the way of questions. I was supposed to have Daniel, who's the DC photographer, on this particular episode, but because I had to postpone this episode from last week to this week, there is no guest, but I'm sure I'm going to go and try and he's going to come on at some point this year, if not multiple times, hopefully. Fingers crossed, Daniel, if you're able to. But please go and check out his stuff. Go and check him out on Instagram and everywhere where he's got socials. He's a really good photographer. I'm so glad he's back. He's going to be at every single game this home season. Fingers crossed, because he's got the credentials to do so. So hopefully we'll have much more in the way of photography and game photos coming through. Going to be looking to do the streams for the matches as well. So if you want to watch along with me, those should be coming back as well for 2025. Especially if we've got US Open Cup as well. I feel like that'll be a really nice addition. If you want to get one of these, Adidas 3/4 zip, go ahead over to dc9kingdom.com. Go and check it out. There are some really good stuff by Adidas on there. And I'm really pleased with this one. It's such a nice one. My dad actually bought himself one. And he got and there's one which is in like a charcoal heather color. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, go and check those out. But yeah, that is it for this week. Like I say, a really nice short episode. Helped my throat out as well. So yeah, that is all for this week. Go and check us out. Remember to like, make sure you're subscribed, and all that good stuff. But until next time, Vamos United.